Hi guys, today we'll be showing you how to make a floating wine bottle holder. Without further ado, let's get started.
Okay, today we're going to be making this floating wine bottle holder. Basically we need to prepare the plank, and we have a leftover plank here from another project that we made. And first we need to cut this to 15 inches in length. Okay, and we have 15 inches there. And next we would have to trim this to the length we need, the width we need, which is 3 1/8. And now we want to make sure, as you can see, or sort of see, that since this is a leftover piece, it's not straight. One edge is straight, so we're going to reference off of that edge. And we're going to measure 3 1/8. Straight line there. If you have a table saw, of course it's a lot easier. Or actually, when you purchase it, your home center could probably cut this for you to the length that you want. But I have a sacrificial piece on my table so it doesn't damage it, and we just cut. Okay, so we have a nice square piece that's 15 inches by 3 1/8. Okay, now we have to make a bevel cut at one end at 27 degrees. Okay, so now we're going to drill a hole where we're going to insert the bottle. So what we need to do is we need to come down 3 1/8 inch from the top. That's the opposite of the bevel side. Like that. And inch and 9/16, which is half of 3 1/8 from each on the side. Right there. And we need to drill an 1.5 inch hole right in the middle. I'm using a 240, but you could even use like about a 150 grit sandpaper, which will be just fine. If you're hand sanding, then 150 will be just fine. If you're using a sander, then you'll want to use a finer grit after like the 150, like a 240 here, because a lot of the power sanders will leave a mark. So you'll have to move that mark with a finer sandpaper. Make sure you get all the fine dust off of the plank. So use like a rag or something and just wipe it off real quick. And then for the finish, I'm going to use a red chestnut for this one because this is what I had. But you can pretty much use any stain you want. You could even paint it if you want. Now when you use a stain, usually all the pigments have settled to the bottom if you haven't used it in a while, or even if you haven't used it in a couple days. So make sure you stir it up so you get the correct color. Now when staining, the very first coat you'll want to be like very liberal with the amount of stain you put on there, because it's going to soak it in.
Make sure you cover all the surface.
And especially the end grain, you'll just want to put a lot of stain on there because the end grain will just keep sucking up that stain. And after you get the coat on there, you just want to come back and wipe off the excess, whatever the first coat or whatever the wood doesn't soak in. you'll want to wipe that off. And you want to let that sit for, depending on your weather, but it'll probably take about 2 to 3 hours to completely cure, or be dry enough to handle. And if you want to make it darker, then you could apply your second coat then, but you want to give it about at least 2 to 3 hours. Some say 4, but it's up to you. It all depends on the weather. And you can put on the second coat. Keep putting on the coats that you want to make it to the darkness that you want, and you will be finished. Pretty much it. I wonder if it's gonna stick.
Yeah.
It's tricky.